Good evening, everyone. This is the VHS tapes. I'm the host for this episode, Venom Jewbear. Today with me is Lord Heroicus and 6 foot. Wait, that reminds me of something. Before we get into the happy good time, I need to take some time and bring you some bad news. 6 foot Piss Radius will not be joining us this week. He's currently on vacation. Heroicus wanted me to heavily emphasize, though, that we did not kill him. He's on vacation and totally not buried in Heroicus' backyard. But here's the good news. We have a guest that'll fill that crustacean-sized hole 6 foot left in our hearts. Say hello to Sully Hawk.
Everybody, I'm excited to be on the podcast. I hope that 6 foot will be okay with me filling in for his spot just this once.
Today, I wanted to bring up a broad topic, but I will make it less broad by asking a question. Do you guys remember what your first video game consoles were?
Sully, you want to go first?
Sure. My first video game console was not mine, I believe. I think it was, even though she doesn't play video games, it was my mom's. It was, she had a PS1. And nice. I played games on it, but I wasn't technically my console, but it was still the one that I played video games on. She liked to play it. She liked it because she liked Hot Shots Golf on it, and so I got to play Crash Bandicoot 1 and stuff like that on it.
So you said you played games on it. Interesting. I didn't know a console could do that.
Fucking smart ass.
For me, while this was pretty much the family's, the first console I ever played on was the Nintendo Entertainment System. We actually had two of them. We purchased one, and then the second one we used to own a house that we had we had 4 apartments connected to it. So we would, my parents were landlords at the time, and one of them was moving out to another country, and they couldn't, at least I think they thought they couldn't take it with them because the plugs in some other countries are different than the electrical plugs here in the United States. So they just gave it to us with a bunch of games. So that's why we ended up with 2 machines. And yeah. We also, because we both had both of them at the same time, we had a Atari 2600 for the longest time.
That's really retro.
It some component of it broke. I don't know what. Apparently, my sister said it was easily replaceable. If that's true, then I threw out a perfectly good Atari 2600. But it was pretty much I guess I didn't understand that. I pointed it out to my dad, and my dad is basically the kind of person who's like, oh, it's broken, can't fix it, throw it the fuck away then. So yeah, we probably could have just simply gotten a replacement. I don't know if it's the power cable or the outputs to the TV. I think it might have been that. Yeah. But yeah, you could have just gotten a replacement. But yeah, let me see. I'm trying to think. Obviously, for the NES, the first probably the oldest game I remember really playing was Super Mario Brothers, the original.
Yeah.
To this day, I still only own that one Super Mario game on that console. I've never gotten my hands on the second or third one for that. I got to play them on a Game Boy, but not the original versions. So I'm trying to find those at some point, but I came across them at a store near me, but I'm not sure I want to spend $30 on a 40-year-old game.
Yeah. I will say that Super Mario Brothers 3 is worth it because that is a very good game.
Oh yeah, I mean, I like I said, I played it on the Game Boy, but I kind of want to play the original version of it.
For sure, yeah.
There's not really much of a difference besides the Game Boy one was like a remastered version of the two games.
There's nothing better than playing an original version of a game that you like on its original console. There's something very nostalgic and retro about that it can't be beat.
Okay, how about you, Venom? Since you haven't said anything yet.
So for me, I can't exactly remember which order I got them, but I remember vividly playing the PS2. Just all day, every day. Like that was just what I would get home from school, I'd play on the PS2. I wake up in the morning, I play on the PS2.
Yeah.
Taking a shit, playing the PS2.
Exactly. Later on, though, my dad bought a N64. This is like years after its cycle was done, but and played GoldenEye and Super Mario 64, Bomberman. A lot of good stuff was on the N64.
The N64 was classic. Had so many great games, and it revolutionary. It really revolutionized 3D graphics. Without the 64, there wouldn't be when people saw Super Mario 64, they shit their brains. They went crazy about it. Same thing with Ocarina of Time.
Oh, Ocarina of Time.
Oh, such a good game.
I played a Nintendo 64 at a friend's house years before I got mine. This was also in like the early 2000s or something. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure we played Smash Brothers or something.
Of course.
I don't know what it was. So I actually got my N64 after I got my PS2, which I didn't even own my own PS2 until, I want to say 2009, 2010, something like that. And then I got the 64 in like 2013 or so. I bought it at a flea market. This guy always had a stand, and it was all he had PS2, PS1. He had some PS3 games because that was still pretty new at the time. He had pretty much any game. He had accessories. He had the consoles, and I kept checking in with him. I wanted a Nintendo 64, and he's like, all right, yeah, I got one. I'll bring it in next week. So I showed up, and I got it. I think I paid $30 or $40 for it, and it came with 2 controllers. And he pretty much forced me to take this golf game. He handed me everything, and I saw that was with it, and I just he also did you could kind of trade in stuff. Not for credit or anything. It was just pretty much if he thought hey, this is valuable enough, I'll trade this for that game, or maybe he'd be like, all right, you can, if you give me this, I'll give you $5 for this game or whatever. But yeah, I was immediately just can I trade this? And before I even finished it, he's like, no, you're taking that game. Throw it out, do whatever you want with it. I don't want to fucking see it again. It's been with me for years now. I'm like, okay. I took it home. I tried it. It was one of those ones where it's it's 3D environments, but your golfer is literally it's they took pictures of an actual golfer and did kind of stop motion for the animation, and it sucked.
Yeah.
I tried it, and I immediately just yeah, this sucks. I just threw it in the trash. And I don't know. I must have gotten something else. I didn't have anything on it Oh, the only game I found in what he had that I was interested in was Star Wars. What was it? I don't know if it's called Dark Empire or something.
I was gonna say Shadows of the Empire, but that was for
Yeah,
the PS1, I think.
That's it. Shadows of the Empire, I believe.
Oh wait, you could play PS1 games on the PS2. I forgot about that.
This was the N64, Sully.
Oh yeah, it
Yeah.
was on 64. It was on N64 too, obviously.
But like, I wanted to get Smash Brothers. I wanted to get Mario Kart, and I wanted to get Mario 64. But it wasn't until probably a year or two later, after I moved, that I finally got my hands on those two games.
Yeah.
I've still yet to get Mario 64. I've played like a little bit of it again at that friend's house years and years ago, but I didn't know what I was doing. I was still way too new to games to really understand anything.
Yeah.
Unless it was like an extremely linear game, like one of the first games I played with my sister was Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, and it's like you really can't. It's not much to like. You can't get lost in the game, really. It's like you can only go on like this one path, through a level. So that was easier for me to like grasp at the time. But yeah,
the essential Mario games, if you ever want to play them, is Mario Sunshine, Mario Galaxy, and Mario 64. Oh, and Mario Odyssey. So 4.
Mario Odyssey is a given. Yeah, I agree.
Now, I know I can obviously get 64 on the 64, and that's the plan, but what are the other ones on?
Galaxy is on the Wii, but it's also on the Switch now, and then Sunshine was on the
GameCube.
And now it's on the Switch.
Yeah,
and then Odyssey's on the Switch.
I don't think I'm going to get a Switch, honestly.
Oh, fair enough.
Missing out, man.
You what now?
I said you're missing out, man.
Yeah. If it comes down in price in the next few years, maybe. Because it's like all I really want to play is like a couple Mario games. I don't really want to play any online shit or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
back to the N64 though. Like the cool thing about that console, it didn't have of course you had your Mario 64s, your Ocarina of Times, your Majora's Masks, but the cool thing about that is a system was that a lot of the best titles for that, about a lot of the best games, were like second-party games that were published by Rareware, like Banjo-Kazooie, Conker's Bad Fur Day, Donkey Kong 64, even stuff like that were, and a lot of those were 3D collectathons that were incredibly well done. That I still remember playing like when I was a kid. And they were just so incredible. It was basically like Mario games, but you just walked around this, like, it was just stage after stage, and they were pretty open, and the whole game is about collecting things. And that always felt like the coolest thing to do as a kid. Like, just collecting stuff, like, felt really good instead of fighting things, even.
Also, I remember in like that game store that I keep going to. I haven't been to it in some time, but I kept going to, like, trying to see like if they had anything interesting for like different consoles. They also have like pretty much anything. So I kept going there. Now they have like, if you want the Super Mario 2 and 3 and some of the bigger games that are more expensive, some of them they actually have the original box for. That's why they're probably like $40.
Yeah.
They keep those in a glass case, so you have to get someone to unlock it. But some of the ones that come in and it's literally the game cartridge by itself, they just put those on a shelf. So I would pick through those. So I was doing that. Like, I'm just like, I wonder if I can find anything that's something that sounds like it would be fun or whatever. And I just flipping through and I came across a copy of Superman 64.
Oh,
no!
oh.
It was like, I want to say it was like not even $2. And I'm just like, even if I don't actually play this, I gotta have this just to show people. Post a collection of games and just have someone be like, why the fuck do you own that?
Yeah, exactly. I rented that
is,
game once.
The thing is, I tried to play it a bit, and the controls are a little weird, and I got through like the first segment, and then I was like, okay, I've had enough. And then I realized you need to kind of have, I think it's called a rumble pack to like actually save your progress.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I guess I won't be trying to finish this until I, get that. I'm determined. I am going to play and beat that game. I don't care what it fucking takes.
Oh.
I need this.
You're a
100%
madman.
it.
You're a madman. I hope you know that.
He is. He is. He's gonna be coming out of it like Lex Luthor and Batman versus Superman, just like the red capes are coming.
Yeah, I'll be insane by the end of it.
Oh my goodness! I rented that game once. I think, if I remember right, and I remember like just being so lost. Like, what's going on?
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's everything I got on that. I don't think I need to actually dust that thing off and start finding some games for it. But I'm still trying to play new games on my PS4. New games. I got games on my PS3 that I haven't even touched yet.
Yeah.
And like I got a shitload of shit on PC when I built that because there was the spring sale, and I'm trying to get through Halo.
Nice.
It's been pretty interesting so far, but those levels are like, I swear, 30-40 minutes long.
Oh yeah, those are hard levels.
It surprises me. Like I've played games before and shit. The levels are like what, 15-20 minutes long and it's over. This shit's pretty challenging. It's
oh yeah.
Yeah.
That first game is hard. That first game is really like it. Like each level, the hard part about it is the level length, because like each level keeps getting harder and harder and harder, and it doesn't like slow down ever.
After you finish Halo Combat Evolved, I dare you. Right here on the podcast, everyone can hear it. I dare you to play it on the hardest difficulty.
Legendary.
Yeah. Alright.
No.
Are you?
No, I don't think I will.
Damn.
Do that for Halo 2.
There are some games I want to do on the hardest difficulty. I've said it so many times. I've done God of War 1 through 3 on all of the difficulties. I started with normal, and then did hard, and then very hard. And then I would go loop back around to easy after, just as it's kind of like a relaxation mode after you complete the hardest one, because you can you can just annihilate everything, effortlessly.
Yeah.
It's almost too easy on easy mode.
For sure.
I also want to play Last of Us and Last of Us 2 on all the difficulties. That's going to be an adventure.
That would be cool.
Then there's something else.
Well, you said God of War 1 through 3 on there, but have you played God of War 4? God of War 4 on Give Me God of War mode?
Oh no. I tried that. My first mistake when I did that was I was like, hey, I can do New Game Plus, so I'll start with like all this good gear I got, all my health buffs and whatever. I'll kick some ass. Well, the problem with that is if you do New Game Plus, it actually like makes that difficulty a little bit harder. Just incrementally. So I just started it, the first, like, I want to say 15, 20 minutes, like, it's just cut scenes and, you know, walking around. There's really nothing happening. But you get to the first fucking enemy, and it literally just comes up, and I'm like, all right, I got this. I throw the axe at it and whatever, and it just, like, it doesn't care. It just comes up and, like, one shot kills me, and I'm like, what the fuck? It just baffled me how incredibly hard they are. I even tried going on just a complete fresh new game of it, and still, like, they one shot kill you because they start at like level 7, which they don't even get to that level, I don't think, even at the end of the game on like regular difficulty. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not fucking with this. I would need to play this.
What are we talking about again?
We're talking about the God of War 2018.
Oh, are you talking about fighting the Valkyries?
No, I was just talking about the Give Me God of War mode, which is the hardest difficulty, where the first enemy will literally one-shot kill you.
Oh, okay.
So it's basically like, don't ever get touched, because you're gonna die.
Exactly.
Ooh, yeah, that sounds like a fun challenge.
That's pretty much what that mode is. Like, it's just like don't get hit mode, pretty much.
Yeah.
Speaking of challenges in God of War 2018, those Valkyries, man, fighting all of them was a pain in the ass, but it was such a grand accomplishment. Like you like felt like very prideful about beating them, and there's a lot of them, and they all suck.
I really want to do that. I'm actually thinking. It almost got put off, but I think I will be doing a Let's Play on that game because I played the other 6 games. Like, why not?
Mm-hmm.
And I initially wanted to do let me do the Valkyrie fights as like bonus content, but I'm like, I don't know, because that's gonna be like, they're gonna be like an hour long each, and it's just gonna me just getting progressively more and more pissed off.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not even gonna be talking at points. I'm literally just gonna be gritting my teeth in rage, after I die like 20 times in 3 minutes. So I don't know.
I'll watch it.
Maybe I'll at least capture footage of me killing them, so I can at least prove like, hey, I did it. Which, of course, I'll just get doubted anyways. So we'll see. But yeah, let me think back. Going back, way back to the NES again. Obviously, I already said Super Mario Brothers was on there. We had, I don't know how, and I already explained how we got 2 consoles, but somehow we had 3 copies of Mario, and it wasn't just the game itself. One of them was Mario packaged with Duck Hunt.
Yeah, I knew there was a package.
And then the other 2 copies was Mario, Duck Hunt, and World Cross Track Meet, and we have the map for it, so you can play that.
Oh,
you know what that game is?
That's the running one, right? Where you get on the.
Yeah, where you run in place and then you jump, go over hurdles and shit. Me and my sister played the fuck out of that when we were little. We could not possibly do that now because we're grown adults, and it's like we just simply would not fit on that tiny ass mat anymore.
Yeah.
But it was fun and shit like that.
I remember my dad.
I only have. I might still have 2 copies. I forget, but. When I used to work at the movie theater, I had a boss. I actually had 3. There was like the general manager, and then there was the 2 assistants. And the general one, we were good friends. I helped him move before I actually did. He moved 2 minutes away from the theater, so we helped him out with that. He had just purchased a Nintendo, and he was he's reliving his childhood and all that. and he's like he really wanted to find a copy of that game, but like I don't know if he looked and like all the copies were really expensive, because I don't think they really were. I think I looked on eBay once and they're like some people had them for like $8 if you were just buying the game, unless you wanted like, you know, never opened. Like, yeah, that would be fucking worth probably a couple hundred to $1,000 or something like that if it was never opened. But no, I think he just wanted the game itself, and I was just like, yeah, I got like 3 copies. I could give you one. And he's like, oh, you don't have to. Like, you know, I can find one. But I'm still like, I took one. I showed up to work and I'm like, here you go. And he was like super happy. He's like, I'm gonna go home, play this tonight. I might leave early. And I think he did. I think he actually left early that night just to go play Mario, which was funny.
That's funny.
And let me think. Other games we had. I remember playing Commando a lot. It
was it based off the movie?
No, it was just an army game. I forget what your guy's name was, but it was pretty fun. The problem was there was something wrong with it, so it just constantly just started glitching out and crashing. It's probably like a bad contact or something.
Yeah.
Another game that broke, I don't remember what it was called, but it was like, it wasn't monster trucks, but it was kind of like a trophy truck. You know what a trophy truck is?
No.
It's kind of like, it's hard to describe, actually. It's like, usually when there's like a monster truck event, I've seen them. They're literally just this certain type of truck that, you know, they drive around and do stunts with. It was basically that, and you would just drive it around. I don't really remember the point of it. You just I think it was a racing game. Like, you would have a couple different racing maps, and it was just trying to drive around, and I don't know if you could crash or what, but I can't remember the name of it for the life of me.
Yeah.
What else? There's a couple of weird ones. I think I don't think I have it anymore, but there was something like Mylan's Secret Castle. And something Lolo. There's this little blue guy. It was a very similar thing to Mario. It's like his girlfriend gets taken by this, you know, weird monster, and he's like got to battle through all these puzzles to get to her. But it was really weird. I can't remember the full name of it. It was like Lolo's Adventure or something. A lot of games were like that. It was just this person's adventure or whatever. Another favorite, speaking of adventures, was Kirby's Adventure. I played the fuck out of that. I love that. I love that so much. I remember my sister. I could play like the first few levels when I was a kid, but I couldn't get very far after that. It was the last like couple, especially like I think there's like 7 zones or worlds or whatever, and then there's like so many doors in each world that you go into. But the 7th one, like the final boss fight, like starts with King Dedede, and then it goes to it's some weird wraith thing. It has a name, I think, but I don't remember. It's literally a nightmare at the end that you fight. And I remember watching my sister play that bit, and like I couldn't do it. When she beat it, you know, you defeat the nightmare, and then it's like there's some text revealing, like, you know, King Dedede wasn't actually the bad guy of the game. He was actually trying to like help, stop this thing. And he was mistaken for being the bad guy. And you know, it's Kirby's like, you know, he's going back home and whatever, and he's going to literally he's finally I killed off this fucking nightmare. I can go back home and go to sleep. That's literally the whole plot of this game, is he just wants to take a fucking nap, but the nightmare just fucked it up. which I just realized that. That's funny.
They have that game on Switch Online. That game's on Switch Online, and I played a little bit of it, and it was interesting.
You gotta play the whole thing. That game is great. I love the music. It's not super hard or anything. You might struggle with some of the bosses at first, but once you get their patterns down, they're pretty easy to take care of.
Yeah.
But I fucking love that. I need to replay that. That game is fun as hell. But again, that's the one problem I have. It's why I kind of want to get that, assuming it has it at least. They remade the NES, and it's smaller. It's got a bunch of
the classic edition.
Yeah, honestly, I think they should have made it with a service where you could, connect to the internet, and you could buy for $1 or $2. You could buy more games, but
yeah, that would be cool.
If it has Kirby on it, I would probably get it, and then just not bother with the old machine, because it's just, I hate playing and then your game just glitches out and crashes, and you have to restart a whole level. Even though they're not that long, it's still just ugh. I hate it.
Yeah, they have classic editions of the NES and the SNES, and the SNES one looks really good. I want to get that at some point.
I have to break some topic here. Anyone who remembers from the first, I believe it was the first podcast, the shirtless guy in the window, just saw him again, and maybe he's been listening to the podcast, because as soon as he took his shirt off and started walking around, he shut his window as his blinds. So I thought that was funny. Boy. He's on to us.
He's a fan. Shout out the shirtless man.
Invite him to the server.
He just made the connection that night, wait, there was a kid sitting in his car, and the guy in the podcast said he was sitting in his car. My God. It's me. I'm the shirtless man.
It's like some Fight Club.
Oh yeah. I saw the picture you sent. Yeah, that must be the sequel. Yeah, I know this is really late, but yeah, that's the same character and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it must have just been the Adventure of Lolo for the first one. I should look it up. I have my second phone here to look shit up, so I don't know why I didn't look that up. Lolo Adventure. Let's see. Yeah, it's just called The Adventures of Lolo. Okay.
Yeah.
There's 3 of them? Jeez. How many times is this guy's girlfriend getting kidnapped?
Ask Mario.
That's... Damn, yeah, he needs to get Mario to help him out. Mario's pretty good at that shit.
Not just Mario, Link, too.
Damn, what's the fuck? These people need to, keep an eye on their girlfriends more.
There's some secret conspiracy with the NES that a bunch of the games involve people still getting their girlfriends stolen.
Damn. Girlfriend theft is the #1 cause of something in America.
Of adventures.
Japan, apparently.
Oh, yeah, I guess. Alright, yeah, I've been talking a lot. One of you guys go.
So basically, I want to bring up the PS2, okay? Because the PS2, I have a lot of stuff to talk about with that, especially the PS1 feature. Going through and playing Metal Gear Solid 3, that was one of the first games I went fully through.
Yeah.
God, I love that game.
It's a great game, man.
We need to do a podcast just on Metal Gear Solid 3.
Dude.
Oh, yes, definitely.
I
would be so fun.
Because the Metal Gear games, there is a buttload of stuff to talk about that we would not have any other episodes besides Metal Gear episodes for 45 years if we got Metal Gear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
something like that. I think
great games.
You could probably contain one whole episode. I mean, one whole game just to one whole episode of the podcast.
Yeah.
Whereas some games, I think, Sully, I saw Venom posted you had suggested eventually doing one about Red Dead 2. I already had that idea sort of, but I'm like, I almost had an idea to like split that up. Like, let's talk about that game chapter by chapter, because
Yeah, that's a good idea.
otherwise we're gonna sit here for 4 fucking hours straight trying to explain that game because it's
Oh,
so
dude.
long.
Like how we did with the Suicide Squad.
Sorry, what?
Like how we did with the Suicide Squad, where we just like basically went scene by scene.
Kind of. I mean, that's pretty much
But
the
on a bigger
like-
level, though, you know.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
imagine that with the Red Dead. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
so they're on the screen now. They're all together on the horses. Oh, it's snowing.
Well, I mean, we would focus on like strictly the story bits. We're not gonna fucking be like, oh yeah, they ride their horses here. Like, obviously, that's the only way they can fucking get around.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, with the Suicide Squad thing or any like, I want to like go through all the DC movies at some point, Marvel and other shit. It's like that's like a 2-hour, 2.5-hour movie. We got through talking about that in like just over an hour, so that was pretty good. Red Dead is like a 60 to 80 hour long game.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
if we at least split it chapter by chapter, it with the exception of the epilogue, I think you could do the epilogue part 1 and 2 in just one solid piece, because like not a whole lot happens in the long span of things. It's like the whole first part is literally just farm simulator, and it's the fucking best. I have to say, this spoilers. If anyone's not played Red Dead 2, I gotta say the end game spoilers for that. So it's like this was something in my Let's Play that I noticed, because like when I first played it, I only played up until Arthur dies, and I was like, I want to do a Let's Play on this at some point, and I'm not going to touch John's story just yet. So it sat for like 2 years, two and a half years maybe. Then I finally did the Let's Play, got to the end, got to John's section, and I just love how Arthur's section gets kind of almost depressing and sad, and it's really sad at the very end. And then not even 30 minutes into John's thing, you're fucking milking a cow. And I'm just
cleaning
like,
up shit.
This is so fucking great.
It's beautiful.
I was laughing so hard. At least I think I did. I haven't gotten around to editing that yet, because I'm like, story wise in that series, I literally just today uploaded the 28th or 29th episode. I forget.
I saw it upload.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I'm so fucking far behind. Like, I've forgotten exactly, but I'm pretty sure I was just laughing my ass off at the like. We were super depressed in the last episode, and now I'm fucking milking a cow.
Mhm.
It was
Beautiful.
the funniest shit to me. I had no idea that was coming, but it floored me.
Yeah.
But going by chapter is an interesting idea. So, were you meaning chapter by chapter, meaning we do a video per chapter?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
So
okay, that makes sense.
so it would be like 7, actually, because epilogue 1 and 2 would be thrown together. It would be a 7-part Red Dead like mini series within the podcast.
That would be cool.
And yeah, I've had an idea for like an 8th part, but I don't know what it would be about.
Maybe
like,
gameplay.
I mean, I think we'd be covering that like as we go, because I mean,
That's true.
the main gameplay is walk, interact with thing, ride horse.
That's true. Yeah.
And then the other stuff is like, random, like, oh, put this dynamite here. So and occasionally there's some random thing like, oh, use this machine gun, but like that's very rare shit that pops up like 1 time or 2 times and you never see it again.
Yeah.
So I feel like we would talk about that as we go, maybe.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, here's an idea: is we could just have like in the background us with our Red Dead characters.
Possibly. I actually kind of wanted to save this for a while until I can replay it again, so I can actually record a segment because I don't have the footage anymore. Either that or just take literally my edited Let's Plays, mute the volume, and just put some music over it and, call it a day. I might just do that.
That's also a good idea.
And yeah, I'll probably just display random shit because I'm not going to sit there and like try to match up everything to what we're talking because that'd be a
no. I wasn't meaning like that. I was meaning like just a still screenshot of our characters posing together.
Oh, okay. But yeah, like my idea, what I was saying is like I'm, in advance, I want to replay again, or at least take my footage that I have and just like have, you're literally watching gameplay and shit happen while we talk.
Yeah, that would be cool.
At least relating to that chapter. I'm not going to edit around to like, oh, we're specifically talking about them robbing the bank in chapter 2. Yeah, I'm not going to go to that.
Yeah.
That much effort. But yeah.
Venom, you were mentioning the PS2.
Yeah, I was mentioning the PS2, and with the PS2, Heroicus, you and I played a game that's kind of rare. Well, not specifically rare, but not many people played it, is that Revenge of the Sith game.
Yeah.
With the fighting game mini-game, I used to play that fighting game mini-game all the time. I loved it.
That's a great
I did
game.
Too. That's the thing I did with that game, and I pretty much any fighting game, I'm just compelled to do it. Is I would sit down and I would take, at least on the Revenge of the Sith one, I would take, like, say, Anakin, and I fight every single character. Then I'll switch to a new character and fight every single character again, ending with, like, a mirror match. And just keep going through it. Like, that was fairly easy, because there was, like, 8 characters to that or something? And then you were done. It's a little bit... I tried doing it with Injustice 2, and I got, like, halfway through the roster, and I'm just like, I'm just going to shorten this to characters I want to play as, and go from there. And then it might be I feel like it might be a bit more doable with Mortal Kombat 11, because I think it's actually a little bit less characters, or at least I like playing as pretty much any character. So I might do that at some point. So anyway,
I remember that Revenge of the Sith. I remember that Revenge of the Sith game though. That
game was hard.
Yeah, it was hard. I forgot about how hard it was.
Like you die, there's no checkpoints. You die and just go back to the start of the level.
I remember fighting Count Dooku in that game, and I would always die so much to him. I was like, "What's with this guy? He's an old man."
Yeah. Funny enough, that game, I waited so long to play that. Because like I never really had like a ton of money as a kid. Like either what money I got, like I would like buy a toy or something. I never actually got a console. I actually think I wasn't allowed to, maybe. Who knows? But when Revenge of the Sith came out, and we got the DVD, and like I would go through the features, and like I would watch the bonus features and shit, and I saw a game trailer, and I checked it out, and I saw the trailer for it, and I was just like, holy shit, this looks so cool.
Yeah.
We had already played, like me and my sister had already played the Lord of the Rings Return of the King game and a couple others. But seeing that, and I was just like, the graphics are fucking insane on this. It looks so good. Nowadays, it looks like crap. Like, a lot of the early 2000s games did not age very well. I think, like, NES, Nintendo 64 games, like, I mean, they don't have as many pixels and shit, but they still have a classic feel to them. There's somewhere in, like, the early 2000s where it just hit a point where it's like the games just always age badly.
Like Uncanny Valley type of thing,
Yeah, it's this weird little gap in those years. And then like stuff like 2007 and up like is all right. The only exception I gotta say is the like the Return of the King game, the Two Towers game, God of War 1 and 2, and there's some other PS2 games that like they had some really good graphics, and they aged certainly, but they still kind of look pretty good by today's standards.
Yeah.
I really need to pee. I'll be back.
I do too, actually.
Oh damn! You're just gonna leave me here? Wow.
Unfortunately.
Wow. Damn, they really did this. They really did me like that. Just left me here all alone. Ah, wow.
You deserve it.
Oh, you're listening, you little fucking shitter.
Yeah.
I'm keeping this in. I'm not taking this out. This is going in the video.
Good.
Hello.
Welcome back. Finally, you
Hello.
people are done pissing. So I got.
But yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were about to talk.
No.
So, two things. These are both little kind of, I guess sadistical might be the right word. I could be wrong. This started way back. We're going way back to the Atari 2600. My sister had a game on there. We had like the usual shit. We had Centipede. We had Missile Command. All of that shit. And then there was some other, smaller games that I don't know. Maybe they were bundled in or whatever. But we had a game called Skydiver. The objective of the game is, a little plane flies over. You jump out, and you got to try to maneuver your guy like onto the landing pad.
Mm-hmm.
In each level, there's little different variables. The wind might be blowing this direction or that direction. The pad might be really small. Just different factors that they throw at you. So, my sister and me, once, I came around, we were evil little shits. So what we liked to do was just eject them from the plane and just press down on the directional stick, so they would, the joystick rather, so they would just crash into the ground. Specifically,
that's terrible.
Because like when you land, it would make a sound like "do," it was like a little victory noise or whatever. But if you hit the ground without your parachute, it would go. It was like a 8-bit crunch sound. So we would just constantly do that, and I remember so many times we would be doing this, and we would just be in laughing fits, like tears coming down. We were, we're like doubled over in pain because we're laughing so hard, just having a fucking blast, just murdering all of these skydivers.
Sadistic, man.
Kids are terrible. Kids are terrible.
I remember.
That sounds like an interesting, like, it sounds like it has a lot of mechanics for an Atari game.
It's not like a whole lot. It's literally like you jump out, and it's based on the wind direction, whatever, you decide when to jump out, and then you just got to maneuver your character down onto the pad. Like, that's literally the entire game. And there's like 10 or 20 variations to the like shit, and that's it. There's like no real end game to it. It's just a little challenge game of sorts.
I remember I had a very similar sadistic thing with the game. I remember playing Metal Gear Solid 3, and you could get that torch, and what you could do is you could light people on fire. I would just go around lighting everyone on fire.
That sounds fun.
That's hilarious.
And like you can in that game you can injure characters' limbs and they'll like limp and stuff. So I had them like limping around. I would destroy their rations so they'd all go hungry.
Goodness.
Damn.
Yeah, you can be a sadistic asshole in that game, and it's fantastic.
That's true.
That's why I love it so much.
There's a lot of things you can do in
Yeah.
that game that I forgot about. Like you can throw a fish and like lure an enemy to you or something like that.
Yeah, you can give them rotten food and make them sick.
Yeah, exactly.
I still remember it was the second time I played it, and when I did that, I made a Let's Play out of it. It was actually, it turned out quite fun. It was kind of frustrating in the process because I actually got halfway through and I didn't realize how my $30-$40 microphone, how well it works sometimes. I had my alarm clock running. It's like an older style one. Like it ticks pretty loudly.
Yeah.
And I went to edit like halfway through the series, and all I could hear in every episode was, I don't know if that's making through, but like I could just hear ticking sounds really loudly, and I couldn't get rid of it. So I had to fucking replay I actually had to replay the whole game, but I had to get to that point and then pick up from there. And that sucked. But anyway, it was a pretty good series at the end of the day. But I got through a certain section, and I don't know where it was. I think it's when you come back to... I don't know what the building is, but anyway, you go out, you come around a corner, and you start going into the jungle. And I remember seeing this item on the floor. On the ground, and I go over to like, what is? Oh, it's a magazine. I pick it up. I'm like, what the fuck's this? And I pick it up and I read the description and I realize it's actually porn. And I just kept laughing. I could actually throw the clip in from that because that was a really funny moment for me.
Oh, a book? What the hell? What is this? Oh, okay. I found porn. Why? Why is this a thing? Oh god. That is dumb. Anyways, we won't be needing that. At least not now. Why is it so funny? Just found porn in the middle of the jungle.
Well, what's great is you can set them on the ground and distract the guards with them.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe I actually wanted to try that at some point, but I don't think I either forgot or maybe that was maybe I did that and then like, when I had to re-record, like it got lost. I tried that for laughs. I tried that with Volgan in his boss fight. I don't think he did anything.
No, yeah, he was unfazed.
He what?
He was unfazed. The only way to distract Volgan, or at least one of the only ways, is to wear the Rykov mask.
Oh, yeah.
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 But yeah, I just had this whole thing. I'm pretty sure how the sequence went is like, I had it pre-equipped from the beginning of the mission, but I didn't
Yeah.
say anything. So it's like, all right, I'm bringing out my ultimate weapon, and I just dropped the porn, and just like, he still just ran right straight at me, I think, and just mowed me down. I'm like, well, that was pointless.
The porn didn't
But yeah,
phase him.
I don't think that made it in, but it still was a funny moment.
That's hilarious, dude. Kojima, you horny shit, Kojima.
And then, similar to the Atari story, was my sister got, what was it called? ATV Off-Road Fury. I don't know if it was 2 or 3. I think it was 2. Literally just a four-wheeler racing game. And there was one map. We would just play free roam and would just explore the maps and have fun. And this one, it's like a winter map. There's a section where there's a frozen lake, and there's like a bridge that goes up over it. So we came across that. We drove up it, and for whatever reason, like we must have one of us must have hit the edge and fell off, hit the ground. And we just like, hey, that's fun. So we would literally multiple sessions just play that, and we would just hit the railing and just launch the character like 2 stories down onto a frozen lake, to just go splat. And like there were these like great groaning noises.
Hilarious.
It was only the male characters. If you played a female character, it was the groaning was just really. It didn't sound like you were in pain. It sounded more like pleasurable in a way, and it was just
interesting.
Weird. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't. It was either that, or it just sounded really like. It sounded really pathetic. Like the voice acting, for the groaning just wasn't very good. But so yeah, we just used the male character because the groaning sounds were just way better. Like the guy put passion into the groaning sounds. It was great.
There was a mode for on the PS3 there was a mode for Skate 3 called the Hall of Meat, and what it was it's called the Hall of Meat, and in the game you can walk. It's a skateboarding game, and you can get off your board and walk around. Mm-hmm. And you can bail during jumps and stuff, so you can get injured and stuff. And Hall of Meat is a mode specifically centered around getting injured. So it puts you like on these big drops, and you just jump and try to injure yourself in the most like terrible ways. And the more you're injured, the more points you get.
See,
and it would see bone fractures and stuff.
See, what I was expecting when you said Hall of Meat was like a bonus level where it's just like lots of meat hanging from the ceiling and the walls are made of meat. Some creepypasta shit or something.
You have a weird mind, dude.
That sounds like something that would be in like an early 2000s game. Like they had Easter eggs and bonus levels that were just really fucked up, weird ass shit.
Yeah, they did.
And people would try to push it in. Like I actually found only recently, because I've only played part of the first Halo, but I think it was Halo 2 or something. The developer put a picture of his own ass in the game, and you could find it, and it forced them to have to like. I think it cost them like $2 billion or something, or what? Maybe $2 million or something, because they had to like pull these copies and like get the fucking ass out of the game before they could put it back on shelves, because they didn't want to end up with like an M rating or something. And I'm like,
my goodness, that's hilarious.
Somewhere that guy's still laughing to this day. Is like,
yeah,
I'm the guy that put my ass in a Halo game. It's fucking magnificent.
I'm gonna have to remember that quote. I'm the guy who put his ass in a Halo game.
Okay, everyone, it has reached the hour mark. So sadly, we're going to wrap things up and we're head off. Thank you very much, Soli, for guest starring on this episode. It's been very great to have you, and we're hoping that we'll get to see you more on here.
Heck yeah.
Anything
hope-
you want to say, Haruka?
Of course. Hopefully, we can. Hopefully, Six will come back from his mysterious vacation.
Mm-hmm. Quote, quote, vacation.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys have a great night, day, or evening, whatever the hell. Goodbye.
See ya.
See ya.